And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Welcome to the golden age. Things are booming in the American economy. Did you see the latest, the 3% growth reported? Big news out there happening nationally, but also locally. We've got our expert contributor here in studio with us, Atty. Rickman, joining us, the Rickman Law Firm, coming straight out of court on a recent case. We're going to talk with him as well. And then also a national story I wanted to get to, that meme defense fund. Did you ever hear the guy that was arrested for posting a joke on social media? And it wasn't overseas this time. It was actually in America under Joe Biden's America. I guess satire was illegal. So they're unwinding that case now. For this citizen getting his rights trampled on. So Atty. Rickman going to talk about that, criminal defense attorney here. Sean Febre joining us as well, Febre Frameworks. And we are back here in studio, always helping you win as a consumer advocate, helping you win in your real estate deals, buying, selling, investing. We would love to help with you. We got a new listing, by the way, a pocket listing on Lake Tarpon. That'll be hitting the MLS any day now. So you'll see that one on Lakeshore Drive. Right there in Palm Harbor, wide open water views, gorgeous property right here in Tampa Bay. All right, let's look at a couple of our current listings. We've got 3308 Landing Place in Palm Harbor. This one's also on Lake Tarpon, so we've got a couple of listings in that area. This one's Cobb's Landing, 3-bedroom plus an office. You got 3.5 bath, 2-car garage, 3,000 square feet, over 1/3 of an acre of land, ground level master, private pool, outdoor entertainment area, private marina, boat slips there on Lake Tarpon. So you've got access to the Tarpon Turtle, and you are in a position where you're having that Florida lifestyle to the fullest, right? You've got your beautiful pool, screened-in pool in your backyard, access to the lake to go cruising and fishing out there, gated tennis and basketball courts, waterfront park, playground, and scenic walking trails. 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor, Florida. And this is another example of one of our listings where we maximize the exposure for our sellers. If you're thinking about buying, selling, investing, we would love to talk to you. Reach out to the show hotline or hit us up on consumerqb.com. Just pull up consumerqb.com and you'll find our phone number, contact information there as well. You can submit an email from the website directly. All right, how about Lakewood Ranch? This one's 15104 Blue Bay Terrace, Bradenton. But it's also Lakewood Ranch on some maps as well. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 3-car garage, 2439 square foot, oversized and fenced corner lot. And this is a gorgeous model home recently built in 2024. It's a single-story layout, open concept design, lighter color kitchen cabinetry, gorgeous kitchen cabinetry there. And you have just a gorgeous interior, that open floor plan, wide open floor plan there. Beautiful pool, crystal clear pool there in the back that's screened in. It's a perfect setup for laps there. Close short drive to Anna Maria Island and Sarasota, Bradenton Beach. You can see all of our real estate listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. All right, yeah, property tax in the news also. Have you been catching any of that? Non-related to the criminal defense area.
We may not have it here in Florida.
Right?
If it's up to Governor DeSantis, and if he becomes President DeSantis maybe sometime ever, we may never have property taxes.
That would be a strong ticket, wouldn't it? DeSantis and Vance? Vance DeSantis?
Depending on which way it goes.
I'll take it either order.
Knows, yeah.
But, that'll be a good one. But, yeah, Florida Governor DeSantis calling for federal government to redo the census, as says California would lose a lot of seats due to high illegal alien population. So I think they should redo that, take a look at redoing the census, you know?
He redoes it. Florida's going to be very well postured in Congress if he does it the way he wants to have it done.
Exactly, yeah, because they lose seats, we gain seats. Texas gains seats, Tennessee, North Carolina, the popular states.
Yeah, look, the way he wants to redo it, our map would be drawn very differently. We'd have a much stronger standing in the House. And it'd be a very big win for the Republican Party, obviously.
Yeah.
We gain a lot more seats.
It's supposed to be representation of the people, by the people, for the people, and all that, right? So let's do it right.
Yeah,
let's go back and look at it.
Get rid of the major cities. Nationally, the representation of the country.
That's
It's
right.
much more red than what people believe it to be.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's controlled by the, what do they call it, the coastal elites, the globalists as well. And that's why they're all upset about that global money. I was listening to Steve Moore, he's an economist, and he was talking about, the foreign aid. Matter of fact, let me click this real quick here. Listen to this clip.
Oh, we got rid of the corrupt foreign aid. We've spent $500 billion on foreign aid. I don't think it's helped any person except the globalists. We got rid of remember the electric vehicle mandate that Biden said everybody has to buy an electric car? We got rid of that. We got rid of PBS funding. And by the way, I occasionally watch PBS.
Huge.
I'll watch, but you know what? Why can't people want to watch it? Why can't they pay for it? I mean, Elmo is one of the richest guys on the planet.
So that was a good line. Elmo, one of the richest guys. He's very popular as well. With the young folks. But yeah, that one was in my head from my daughter's years.
Listen, I got 4. I know how I forget it.
Know how it goes, right? All right, let's jump into some of the law because we're talking with criminal defense attorney here, Anthony Rickman, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, the RickmanLawFirm.com. And we caught you just out of court here on I think you said it was a pretrial detention.
Yeah, so in 2025, the law changed. So on certain crimes, really we talk about the biggest concept in the United States is that presumption of innocence, right? Everyone is clothed with the presumption of innocence. What that means, you're presumed innocence. The government has to prove your guilt.
Should be.
Except when you're first arrested in certain circumstances.
Wow.
And really, our law has changed to the extent where really you're presumed guilty to the extent that you can't get released. And in the state of Florida, there are certain enumerated offenses where you're not entitled to a bond now. And if you are arrested based upon probable cause, and that means based upon the decision of an officer who's conducting an investigation, based upon that opinion a lot of times of that arresting officer, once you're arrested, you're going to sit in jail for a minimum of 5 days.
Wow.
And those cases could be a case where, for instance, I'll call it, it was called a burglary with assault and battery. Let's say you're in a fight with somebody. It's as simple as you're arguing with somebody. That person gets in that car. That person, let's say you get punched. And then somebody gets in their car and you go to hit them back. And you reach through the door and you hit them back through the door. And you reach through the car window and you hit them in the face. That's burglary with assault and battery.
Wow.
Now, that's a felony punishable by up to life in prison.
Mm.
And if that officer makes the decision to arrest you and charge you with burglary with assault and battery for punching somebody through their car window or just slapping or just touching them through their car window.
Yeah.
That's a burg bat. You're sitting in jail with no bond for at least 5 days until your pretrial detention hearing.
Wow.
Or in a real extreme circumstance, a case that I just left court on today, somebody has made an accusation against another person that they were engaged in non-consensual sex with somebody. 2 people met at a bar. One person claims that the other person, they've known each other for a long period of time. They've had a relationship with each other for a long period of time. Maybe they made some bad decisions that they wouldn't have made had they not been drinking. Things that people do after going to the bar and having some drinks.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
Things that people do. And someone has some regrets the next morning. And all of a sudden, hey, I didn't think we should have gotten that far. And you make an accusation. And now somebody's sitting in jail because of that accusation.
Yeah.
And now they're charged with sexual battery.
Yeah.
And that's a felony punishable by up to 30 years in prison. That's a first-degree felony.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Because with the way the law is now, it's not like it used to be. All it takes is an accusation.
Yeah.
And that accusation now can ruin somebody's life.
It really can.
It can.
Yeah, because in 5 days, think about this too. When you're in jail for 5 days, you just got picked up on one of these new laws. By the way, reach out to Rickman Law Firm if you want to find out what those changes were, or consumerqb.com. We'll send you a report on it. But when you look at that, if you're in jail for 5 days, you may get fired from your job. You could be late on rents and things of that nature. You're missing payments. That could really set you up for not only the criminal ramifications, but also now it's getting into your checkbook. Now it's getting your pocketbook, your credit score, things like that.
And then after that 5 days, then you have a hearing. And then you go in front of a judge. And then there's a standard in front of that judge where the state has to prove now that there's a substantial probability that you committed that crime. And then if the state proves that you committed that crime, then it moves to the second prong. Are you a danger? Are you going to appear at court based upon your past history, based upon your current conduct, based
Flight
upon
risk.
your ties, community, your flight risk. And then the judge is going to make the decision, number one, whether the state met the burden to prove that you committed that crime under a very low standard, by the way, where the officer can testify to hearsay. They're not going to bring in the victim to testify. They're going to put that officer on the stand to testify to hearsay. Then they're going to bring on whoever they want to bring on to the state and put in affidavits and not put on the actual witness because they don't want me cross-examining that witness. They're going to have me cross-examine the officer.
Right.
And then I'm going to be able to present evidence. So it's very important that you have a good, skilled attorney to be able to bring out that evidence, to cross-examine that officer, and to also bring in witnesses to show, number one, the holes in the state's case early.
Right.
Because I'm shotgunning a trial.
Yeah.
It's a mini trial at the very early part of this case.
Yeah.
So in these 5 days between that arrest and this hearing, I have my investigators on the ground doing our investigative work.
Wow.
I have my investigators doing background on my client, showing this court to show the court now why my client's not going to be a flight risk, showing this court why my client has no criminal history, why my client is a model citizen in this community, and also showing the judge why this case is weak, why it is not what the government believes it to be,
right?
Why my client shouldn't have been arrested and shouldn't be held in those 5 days.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, this law is tough because now, like you said, it's ruining people's lives.
Yeah.
In those 5 days, people lose their jobs.
Yeah.
You lose your freedom. And at the end of the day, there's that stigma now.
Yeah.
You
exactly.
have that stigma where you've been accused of a crime.
Yep.
For something, and a lot of times that they didn't do.
A good friend of mine, Captain Will Smith, friend of the program, Will's Way Foundation, Will Smith Aviation, like he went through that at a young age, and he had spent 26 months in prison. And what ended up being is the judge was totally railroading him, and not only him, but countless others. And what he ended up doing, starting a website, his friend did on the outside, started a website. It was the judge's name, and it had some debt. And then all those people started piling on. They started saying, oh, yeah, that happened to me. She did that to me. She wouldn't let my attorney speak. She wouldn't let me. So anyways, long story short, he wins his appeal. He gets he's out of jail. He's released, and he gets the judge thrown off the bench. She can no longer practice law in North Carolina ever again. But those types of things happen, and it's reputational. So he wrote a book called Ditches to Riches, and he wrote another book as well, Falling from the Sky, because he was a pilot at that time as well.
Yeah, and look, and accusations, sometimes you can't ring that bell, and it's important to mount that defense, to show not just the courts but also the world, right?
Yeah.
Why there's this accusation against you that is false. And in a case like we just talked about, where you have an accusation of misconduct that's sexual in nature, there's the bigger stigma.
That's terrible.
And when you talk about an accusation like that, where we grew up in an era where you go out to a bar and you meet somebody and you have that relationship, and it's consensual, and because you have a regret or you have remorse doesn't mean that it wasn't consensual at the time.
Exactly.
Just because you change, you regret what you did, doesn't mean you didn't consent to doing it.
Right. And how many times has that sentiment, and again, that's on the female side a lot of times, how many times do you think that's happened over the last, I don't know, let's say 20 years nationwide, right? Has that scenario played out? Oh, she has a regret. Now her friends are judging her. Oh, what can I do? What can I do? Let's say he raped me.
Well, 100%. And I've been in cases where I've deposed detectives, and I've asked that question. I said, well, you know what? You say that this individual, you charged a male, right? And you said that she was drunk, but you also conceded that he was extremely intoxicated.
Right.
Well, why did you charge him?
Yeah.
And not her?
Yeah, exactly.
Where did you draw the line?
Exactly.
Because you agree that he was actually drunker than she was.
Right.
Well, why did you charge him and not her? And they can't answer that question.
Fascinating.
So why do you always assume that it's the male who is the victim when they're both equally in the same position?
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. You could sign a consent form. You can have it on video. In the case that I'm talking about, the individuals had talked about engaging in activities that he's charged with.
They were flirty.
Not just flirty.
Yeah.
They talked about what they were actually going to do with each other. Descriptive prior to the alleged conduct that resulted in the charge.
Oh, boy.
And of course, she didn't tell it to law enforcement prior to the arrest.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they're going to put their best foot forward, and then they're going to lead them down that one path that they want them to go down and try to dig it in.
But you can't unring the bell.
Can't unring the bell.
But luckily, through the investigative work, I was able to uncover that and show that. And without that, we're in a different position.
Right.
And that's why it's important you get an attorney to get involved.
Absolutely.
And to find that information.
Get early and be careful what you say. Get Anthony Rickman involved, the rickmanlawfirm.com. Hey, I got an interesting story as well I want to run by you here. Meme Defense Fund. Have you heard about this guy? He was arrested. Quick break, right back. This was in the news big time back in the election cycle. Joe Biden's DOJ arrested this guy for sharing a meme on social media. Can you imagine you're sharing a meme? You think it's funny, you think it's a joke, and then later on you get arrested. Of course, they do the very aggressive arrest with all the deputies showing up and do the embarrassment and the intimidation thing to this guy too. I'm going to play the clip coming up next here on this meme defense and find out more about that. More from our expert contributors coming up as well. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleaning, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894. consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast. Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Rimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. Rimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com, our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com. Looking to level up your sales game? With 20-plus years of coaching experience spanning across several industries, Lindsay Rimes helps everyone from entry-level reps to seasoned business owners boost sales, improve work-life balance, and retain top talent with customized options catered to personal, group, or corporate settings. Brandon and Lindsay Rimes offer training on negotiation strategy, business development, and more. Let's grow your business together. Call 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Submit an email at consumerqb.com.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Brandon Rimes here in studio with Anthony Rickman, criminal defense attorney, rickmanlawfirm.com, the rickmanlawfirm.com here. Longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great example of our 80 different categories where we can help you live a better life, avoid commission-based advice, and save time and money when you're shopping all these different areas. You know, white collar, blue collar, we got tech covered, we got private jets, we got your auto dealerships, mortgage, finance, all different ways we help you. ConsumerQB.com, ConsumerQB.com. 9594 Southeast Mayor Camp Road. This is one of my favorite listings here. It's a commercial hardware store. So it's a building, a business, the land. It's all for sale here. Owners motivated. We just did a price improvement down to $1.2 million at 9594 Southeast Mayor Camp Road. Buy yourself and invest into a thriving hardware store. You get the building, you get the business, the land, everything included. 5,000 square foot, 5,725 square feet, acre of land, retail shop. 9594 Southeast Mayor Camp Road. You can see all of our listings. Platinum MVP Team. KW.com. This is God's country. All right, I'm going to roll tape on this, and we're going to discuss this meme case.
He's even richer than you.
That's the wrong.
Thank you, Charlie. I posted a joking meme in the 2016 election cycle saying that you could text your vote for Hillary Clinton, stay home, avoid the line, blah, blah, blah. And I found this meme on 4chan and just shared it, thought it was funny. 4 years later, 2 days after Joe Biden was inaugurated, they got a warrant for my arrest. 7 days after Joe Biden was inaugurated, I got the knock on the door from the FBI. I got arrested. I was convicted in 2023 for a conspiracy against rights for posting this meme. The judge said I should report to prison on January 18th of 2024.
So anyways, they were going to put him in jail immediately, wouldn't allow for an appeal, or they finally gave him appeal, and he was able to stay out of jail. But the guy got arrested by Biden. So I guess under Biden's America, the satire is illegal in Joe Biden's America. No joking out there.
It's a Democrat on Democrat crime. Yeah, Biden prosecuted a Hillary supporter.
Yeah, well, he's helping her out. Right, that same team, baby.
Look at that. So, but look, end of the day, I mean, he really came after somebody for posting a political meme against an opponent, and it shows that he weaponized the DOJ against an opponent. It started back there. At the end of the day, what the court found is that there was no conspiracy. Yeah. That he didn't act in concert with anybody to engage in election interference, essentially, to do something in concert to have people stay home. Yeah, and vote from home.
Like who took that? Who took that legit? Right?
Yeah, it was somebody posting something as a joke. Yep. And you look at what's happening in the media and what's on X and what's on Comedy Central and South Park. I mean, there is the line that's drawn, and there's a line of cases that started with Jerry Falwell in the Hustler cases back. Yes. Back in the days when we talked about there's between political satire. And free speech. Yeah. And at the end of the day, that this case is the example of that. And there's literal speech and there's political speech and free speech. And this is a case where it shouldn't have been prosecuted in the first place. Yeah. And there has to be a cool head in the Justice Department to understand what is somebody actually advocating somebody staying home, voting from home, and somebody saying something that is not political. And when we talk about the effect that a criminal prosecution can have on somebody. This is an example of it. Yeah. We see January 6th. Yep. We see the cases that we talked about this morning. What criminal prosecutions can do to people's lives. Yeah. This criminal prosecution ruined this kid's life. Yeah. Or affected his life. Big time. The $1 million. It was the defense fund was over $1 million that they had to raise. Yes. And then on the flip side, what gets me real quick in our short 1 minute left is you had all this seemingly racist fighting going on in Cincinnati streets. That the whole thing behind it screams DEI, but the guy got out on a $400 bond or something. So the exact opposite side of something like that, and they're out on a low bail. And they're blaming the victims. Yes. And we see victim blaming. Yeah. I represent people charged with a very serious case right now that involved a big fight on an island in Tampa. Yep. Okay. So and you saw the opposite reaction in this county. And in that case, you see in Ohio, and they're calling it a fight. Yeah. That was not a fight. Yeah. That was a beatdown. Yeah. The people in Ohio got beat down. It was hit from behind and the side. The woman is standing there, and she got sucker punched by a man. Sucker punched. Knocked out by a man because of her skin color. Okay. That was a sucker punch. Yeah. Okay. That wasn't a fight. Yeah. What was over there was horrible. Yeah. So that needs to be done right. Well, the country's moving in the right direction, culture-wise, I think economy-wise, law-wise, and we'll see how this all shakes out. There's a lot of big things going on with the big guy too. Yep. 10% for the big guy. That is not our big guy. The Jesus Christ big guy. But yeah, hey, good stuff, man. Anthony, always a pleasure having you in, man. Thanks for having me. Check him out online, therickmanlawfirm.com. And coming up, Sean Febre Frameworks. Quick break, right back.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rimes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Sean Febre joining us, Febre Frameworks owner, and he's also a podcaster as well. We'll talk with him here in just a moment. Quick shout out to our friend over at Lee's Royal Services. Does a great job cleaning our real estate properties. Lee's Royal Services for all of your home and office cleaning. Check them out online, leesroyalservices.com. And on the exterior of the home, we talk about our friend over at Heights Soft Wash. Ramin is a great guy. HeightsSoftWash.com. That's your old buddy right there, too, right?
Ray.
Ray. Yeah, he's a good guy. HeightsSoftWash.com. Let him know the real estate quarterback sent you. And that's for all your pressure washing, residential, commercial properties, driveways, fences. Get it spruced up looking before you sell it. Get that spring selling season coming up. HeightsSoftWash.com. Check them out online. All right, hot listing here. We'd like to feature our listings on air. It's our strategy that helps us sell faster for more money. 2547 Lexington Oak Drive, Brandon. This has to be one of the best priced townhomes in all of Brandon, Florida. 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 1-car garage, 1917 square feet, new flooring, fresh carpets throughout. All bedrooms have been remodeled with en suites, and you also have a large community pool. Great opportunity there. 14420 Bailey Hill Road, Brooksville, Florida. We have another listing here from Jamie on our team. This is Brooksville. You got 3 acres of land. Buy some dirt. It's unimproved land, so you can tear down some trees, build up some properties there, make a rental. Who knows what you want to do with that? Maybe have a commercial space. I'd have to check the stats on that. We got about 45 current listings, but this one's nice, man. You're close to Tampa International Airport, affordable cost of living, spacious properties compared to larger metros. So, yeah, people, that's the general trend. People like to move further north, get more bang for their buck. But this one's 14420 Bailey Hill Road, Brooksville, Florida. And buy some dirt. Great time to invest in real estate.
Buy dirt.
There you go, Mom. That's right. All right. Sean Febre, welcome back in, sir.
What's up, Brandon? How you doing?
Just blessed and highly favored, man. Things are great.
I like that. Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah.
Doing better than most, I assume.
I like that one, too. Better than most. Yes, sir. Yeah, we just called up Febre Frameworks a couple days ago. Took a new listing right on Lake Tarpon. Beautiful open water view. I mean, that's what's unique about real estate, right? You'll have some people live on a canal, and it's nice, it's beautiful. You have access to a lake or a sea, but you do have that canal neighbor, right?
You ever get a little bit nervous living on Lake Tarpon with all the alligators and having a young kid? Because
funny you said that.
I mean,
Todd,
I heard a story where somebody was just attacked.
Well, here's what happened just 2 days ago. I don't know if I didn't plan on saying this on the air, but yeah, so I had every Wednesday I do a 5:45 radio call-in. So that's pretty early in the morning, right? 5:45 with Kyle Warren. He's our nationally syndicated morning overnight guy. So I did every Wednesday. So I let the dogs out 5:45, and unfortunately, one of my dogs didn't come back, and we were pretty sure he went on the dock and. He probably got ate by a gator.
Did he come? Oh, okay.
No, he's gone. He's been missing for 24 hours. I'm probably,
sorry to hear that.
I'm leaning towards that's what happened, because this morning I went back out to that same spot and there was a big boy sitting right there. So I called Fish and Game. They're going to come get him. The permit is going to relocate him, but it's crazy you opened up with that.
I was just thinking about it because I keep hearing it on the radio of people getting attacked just by walking alongside a pond.
Yeah.
So you living literally on a big lake.
Yeah.
Bro, they pulled like a 12-foot gator from Lake Tarpon.
Oh, there's big ones.
Years ago.
Yeah, there's big boys in there. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt.
I remember when I took my jet ski out there, dude, and it became nighttime. Bro, it was sketchy loading that thing up on the trailer. I'm not going to lie, man.
Yeah, nighttime.
I was freaking out. I didn't even want to get in the water.
Yeah, you're like, what? Got you concealed on you just in case.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah. Well, you don't need one anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
As of last year,
Constitutional
July 1st,
carry.
Right?
Yeah, constitutional carry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So
I love the free state of Florida.
The free state of Florida, man. People are moving here in records. And that's why DeSantis was posting out, this was yesterday, DeSantis says he calls on the federal government to redo the census, the United States Census. Says California would lose a lot of seats due to high illegal population. And, of course, that trend that we saw from blue state to red state migration. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. Let's get it done.
We actually, as Febre Frameworks, we received a census from the state of Florida, and we're being actively called to fill out that census because it is required by law now. So, I mean, Florida's doing it.
Yeah.
And I guess California sucks.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other way to put it.
Yeah.
Beautiful state.
Yeah.
Not a really good place.
I hope Steve Hilton wins out there. You know who Steve Hilton is?
No,
he's running for governor. Larry Elder ran, and they called him the black face of white supremacy.
Dude, what about the guy in
he's a
New
black
York
guy.
City? What about in New York City?
Yeah, this Mandabi. Anytime the name is something like a
socialist.
Zohran or a Hussein, we should have learned our lesson, right? With a Hussein and you got a Zohran.
The Baraks.
Yeah, that's a real American name for you. That's a real American name. Sounds like exactly. Sounds like exactly what it is.
But he is absolutely associated with a socialist party, and he has come out and said that he won the DNC primary for the Democrats. So a Republican's not going to win as mayor of New York. So New York is probably going to become the first socialist city in the United States, man.
But Giuliani was the last Republican.
How long
that
ago
I remember,
was that?
it was years ago.
Years?
But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. They're going to have to figure out a way to try to and who knows. And a lot of people, the sentiment is good. Let them have it. Let them have what they vote for. Let's teach them a lesson. Let's see what happens. But in this free state of Florida too, man, there's a lot of good things going on. You've got our state. Finance CFO, the state CFO. I've got a clip I want to play on that one. That is this one.
Governor Ron DeSantis just appointed Blaise Ingoglia as Florida's new CFO, and the guy came out swinging.
I am going to continue to work hard to offer property tax reform. I am going to work hand and glove, side by side with this governor to make sure that we get rid of property taxes on homestead exemption and offer real property tax relief to the people of the state of Florida. That I will continue.
That's one we can all get together, behind, right?
I've heard Ron DeSantis talk about this a lot, and my biggest question is, if you do get rid of property taxes, how does it pay for infrastructure? And what he has come up with is he says, hey, let's come up with a tourist tax and have all the visitors pay for all the infrastructure in the state. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There is no reason why if I buy my house, I should be paying the government to rent the land. Because that's what a property tax is. It's literally you're renting the land. Once you pay off your house, you still got to pay property taxes. Makes no sense to me.
Yeah, it's not fair. It's not fair, especially, and you look at that example of our grandparent, right? A grandparent that's been there 30, 40, 50 years, and then they decide to sell or leave it to the family. Yeah, that's a major issue, and I think what you'll end up seeing is a combination of I'm hearing things about recycling programs that could be shaven, and a prime example also is with Doge, Florida, right? Did you hear about Gainesville, Florida? I don't have the stats sheet. I had a stat sheet here in front of me that was where I could speak specific, but essentially what they've done is they've raised the taxes up there, the property taxes, something like 45% over the last 2 to 3 or 4 years. And there's got to be some waste, fraud, and abuse in there. And then similar with
raised it that much though.
Similar with Broward County, but that's what they say. They say, oh, well, you had the increases in population, et cetera. But that's a massive. If you get into the numbers again, I don't have them right here in front of me, but yeah, Gainesville's on the list to get doged. And so is Broward County down in South Florida.
I didn't realize Governor DeSantis actually implemented Doge in Florida. Yeah. I know he was talking about it. I didn't realize he implemented it, and he did.
Yeah, and
man,
Gainesville.
I love Ronnie
here's
D,
the thing,
bro. I love him.
Well, here's the thing. If you got something to hide, a lot of times you're not going to be forthright. You're not going to say, yeah, sure, come in and look at my books, right? Yep. They've been doing that. They've been pushing away the Doge inspectors, et cetera.
So, Ron DeSantis isn't eligible for another term.
He's ineligible, but Casey is.
So, I mean, who do you think is going to be our next governor?
Well, they're saying Casey. Well, it's funny because Rickman and I just talked about this. You've got Byron Donalds and then Wilton Simpson, the agricultural. I think he's got a little bit. Wilton has more of the grassroots because he's been there. He's been in Tallahassee. He's got especially that agriculture. You know, Florida's a big agricultural state, as much as people sometimes don't
orange
understand.
Capital of the world, man.
Yeah, orange production, sod, sugarcane, on and on. But so it'll be interesting to see. Byron Donalds, he got an early nod from President Trump as well. So that's a powerful endorsement if we've ever seen. How those endorsements play out. What is Trump like in his 90?
Have you heard him speak, Byron Donalds?
Oh yeah,
yeah. He is magnificent, man.
He does a good job,
and he's doing a good job campaigning, like on social media and things of that nature. That's where I see him most of the time. But he's grassroots campaigning.
Popularity.
So he's going to places and actually speaking to the common citizen, I guess you could call it.
Yeah.
And the way he talks to them and the way he debates with liberals, I love, man.
Yeah,
he shuts them down.
There's no doubt he's strong. I really like him a lot. If you just joined us, we're talking with Sean Febre. He's the owner of Febre Frameworks, co-owner with his brother Manny Febre as well. For FebreFrameworks.com, all your real estate photography. Got the drone technology going out there. And what else you guys up to, Sean?
It's a real estate media agency, but we always talk about Febre Frameworks, man. I like this talk about Florida, and you brought up something off air. You were talking about the Bucs. You were talking about Baker Mayfield's restructuring of his deal, which was into a second year of a 3-year deal where I think he's guaranteed $30 million on a $40 million deal. People are saying that the Bucs have a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. What are your thoughts on that?
No, yeah, I think any given Sunday the Bucs can beat any team. I mean, I really do, and especially when you have this chemistry, you have a second-year quarterback coming back. You have everybody coming back, Mike, and the defense. We did lose a big lineman the other week. We lost that lineman. I mean, it's it all starts up front. That's that's always been my advice is it starts up front because you can get a running back that maybe just second tier. He's not quite the Saquon Barkley, but if you give these NFL running backs,
Irving is awesome, bro.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. But my general point is what I'm talking about is build your line, right? Build your offensive line. It's going to protect the quarterback. Build your defensive line. That's going to pressure their quarterback, stop the run game. But and then you could always get that again. That's I call it second tier. No disrespect in any way to anybody. I wasn't referring to him at all. But if you open up a hole for these guys, they're going to be able to run through it pretty fast at around a 4 or 5 speed. A lot of these guys.
So then for the AFC, what is your prediction there? Who's going to win the AFC?
I haven't followed it that closely. Who's the front runners? You got your front runners of the Chiefs. You got. I'd like to see the Dolphins come back and do something too, man. I grew up liking the Dolphins. We'd drive a couple hours down south. I'd go to some Dolphin football games.
So you were a Marino guy.
I did, yeah. We loved Marino back in the day.
See, if I were to pick the Super Bowl right now, currently as it sits, I'm going to have to go Baltimore.
Okay.
All right, Baltimore and Philly.
Okay. Interesting. I like that.
I mean, I would say that's
here's something
right?
interesting. Here's an interesting story too, Sean. It was kind of cool because I was watching. I just happened upon how NFL Films does such a great job of all these different documentary, and it was the one about the Tampa Bay Bucs, how they lost 26 straight or whatever. I think it was 26 games straight when they first started. Yeah, with the creamsicles, and then 74. The date that they broke. Well, the game before they held Walter Payton. And the defense, and everybody's starting to say, wow, this team's starting to gel, man. Look at this. They almost beat Chicago. They held them to this score. It was a close score, right? And Walter Payton was the man back then. Sweetness, right? And then the next week is when they broke the streak of losses, and it happened to be my birthday.
No way.
It was kind of interesting. Yeah, because they said on this date, and they put it on the screen, and it happened to be, that December in '77 when they won that first game, and it was pretty cool to see. And it was really cool is when they flew back, they had about 10,000 fans that showed up to support them, and it was kind of interesting. They had Jack
only
Harris.
10,000 though, huh?
Yeah, but I mean that's back then though.
Yeah.
Think about it. And we didn't have and the point that I think it was Jack Harris made was that back then you didn't have I-75, so you had people from Fort Myers driving up to Tampa Bay on the old school Tamiami Trail, US 41. That's Tamiami for Tampa, Miami, Tamiami Trail. So it took a lot longer to get anywhere, but that was pretty cool, right? 10,000 people showing up.
I would say, 10,000. Yeah. And you know what? Speaking about that number, the the Rays are now playing in Steinbrenner Field.
Yes.
George Steinbrenner Field. Have you gotten a chance to go out there?
No, but I want to. I do want to catch one once it cools off a little bit.
What do you think about the selling of the franchise? I know it hasn't been completed yet, but I think they're selling it for $7 billion.
So who's selling it to who?
Well, Stu Sternberg, right?
Okay,
that's the owner.
Yep, I heard that name.
And then the person purchasing it, I don't know that person's name, but
okay.
They're finalizing it to where it's around $7 billion.
Wow.
And the new owner wants to keep the Rays in Tampa.
Good.
So if you were to speculate on where a baseball stadium could go, where do you think they'd put it?
Oh, well, I've heard all the arguments for different ones. Where
do you want to see it?
They've looked at it so many. They've done site plans. They've seen so many different things. I mean, gosh, I don't know. It's my initial is somewhere around that I-4 corridor where you have
Gasworks, right?
Yeah, somewhere, Eborish, it's what you see might work. I don't like the idea of an outdoor open air just because it's so hot. I mean, you get rain and hot, you got to have some kind of element.
So you want it kind of like a Miami stadium.
I want something where it's cooler, yeah.
And they got the big window. I mean, I think it'd look cool, kind of like the Pittsburgh Stadium where it's on the water and you can see downtown Pittsburgh, kind of like that, but downtown Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd go to those games.
It's cool. Just the thing is it's so hot, during the open season. We got to take a quick break. Right back. More with Sean Febre, Febre Frameworks, and also the podcast as well. Happy hour holidays, DAZE. Quick break. Right back. More with Sean Febre coming up.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. Please make sure to send him all of your real estate deals and subscribe to the Consumer Quarterback Show podcast on iTunes and Spotify, or check out our YouTube channel. Have a blessed day.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Of long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation, aircraft management, acquisition and sales, luxury jet escapes and packages. Check them out online, willsmithaviation.com. That's willsmithaviation.com, or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg. Online at DavidReynoldsJewelryandCoin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net for all of your surveying needs. Land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net. Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. A couple of hot listings. We'll jump right back into our conversation with Sean Febre, co-owner of Febre Frameworks and podcaster as well. We'd like to feature our real estate listings on air. 4798 Indigo Road. We got 42 acres of land. We're splitting that into 5-acre parcels, so it's going to be a little bit more bite-sized for any builder, developers, owner, occupants there that want to have beautiful land. This is on there's multiple lakes on this property. 42 acres of land that we've got listed there. 4798 Indigo Road, Groveland, Florida, close to Orlando, still close to Tampa. Great opportunity to buy real estate. There's also a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home there as well. 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey Chiropractic Office. We've got a chiropractic office for sale, so commercial business. If you want to relocate your professional service business there, 10129 Little Road, Newport Richey, 2337 square feet, over an acre of land, medical setup. But again, this could be, for any type of business relating to professional, those types of services. New roof and functional lit monument for high visibility. You can see all of our listings, Platinum MVP Team.kw.com.
Yeah, I'm raising my glass to those saving our ass overseas.
That's right. Shout out to all our veterans, all our troops out there. We offer those discounts for first responders, teachers, nurses, and seniors. Reach out to the Platinum MVP Team, buying, selling, investing, or refinancing. I've got my mortgage loan origination license as well. So get in place, get your applications in for that refinance. So there's $600 checks coming out too, man. Have you heard about this? Senator Josh Hawley's talking about rolling out a new bill for $600 in tariff rebates. Because let's do a quick recap on the tariffs. $150 billion in tariff revenue that has been generated in the last 6 months by President Donald Trump. Over the past 6 months, that had the big EU deal that came in, offering $600 billion in U.S. investments, additional U.S. investments, and also a $750 billion investment in American energy. And Europe agreed to spend $1.4 trillion with America over the next 3 years. So record dollars coming in.
Let's not also forget the act that was just introduced into the Senate yesterday, which is now being called the Pelosi Act, where Congress members can no longer invest in stock. Now, if it passes, I think this is great. Tell me how this lady on $220,000 a year,
and even less when she first started,
and even less when she is worth $200 million.
Yeah,
insider trading.
Terrible.
Trump already says, "Hey, I think she should be investigated."
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I think you got to look at a lot of these folks, and it's not just on one side of the aisle. A lot of them are doing it. I like guys like Rand Paul because he's that kind of libertarian leaning. I really like it, man. Here, I got a clip I want to play. This is a good one.
I don't like trade wars.
Economist Steve Moore.
I still worry about that. It keeps me up at night. But Trump is winning on these things, country after country. And incidentally, one of the things, again, this is so vintage Trump. I've learned a lot from him, Joe, just watching him and being.
So Steve Moore, think about it. You got a lifelong economist, Stephen Moore, that says, I've learned a lot from him. Do you think there was anybody that could say they learned a lot from Joe Biden?
Around him. So what he's done is, when Liberation Day came out, America crashed, everybody thought, oh my God, the world's coming to an end. And then what happened is a few of these countries said, hey, we'll make a deal. And then a few more countries said, we'll make a deal. And as more and more countries came to the negotiating table, what did that do? It put pressure on Japan. It put pressure on Korea. It put pressure on China and the Europeans who.
So you get that momentum, right? You got that early momentum, and think about what he did. He says oh, we're going to jump into 50%. So everybody's thinking, man, 50%, what's going on? We better start getting in. So that he starts getting deals done, gets that momentum, smaller country. And you got Japan and some of these other ones saying, hey, wow, we better do something before it's too late.
He also introduced, what was it, the gold membership passport card where you could buy citizenship for, I think it's $5 million, and he's already got 70,000 people on the wait list.
Yeah.
If you do the math, that's like around $350 billion.
That's a lot of money, man.
There's money coming in. Bro, he is just like racking up the W's.
He's racking it up, and the economy's showing.
The one thing, though, that I don't like is Pam Bondi.
Yeah?
Worthy arrest.
Well, here's what I hear.
She's not doing her job.
But have you seen Kash Patel? Some of these, and
he
even
ain't doing
Bondino,
his job either, man.
But they're saying, listen, it's gonna take time. We got to make sure all of our T's are crossed, I's are dotted. It takes time. You can't indict somebody and then have things unraveling later.
You don't remember what their whole premise was? Oh yeah, within the first week, I'm releasing all this.
Well, yeah, no, I get it.
Oh,
it's going to take a little time. I think it's just.
No, I think they have all the information.
We're 6 months in.
Deep State is just pressuring them not to.
That's true.
Especially what happened with USAID, where they were funding all the NGOs that were backed by Democrat donors.
Yep.
Dude, I mean, like, come on, that was a money laundering scheme. They have all the information. Pam,
I got you.
What are you doing?
I want to see heads roll too, man. I'm with you there, Sean. How do people connect with you? What's the podcast? What's the coordinates?
FebreFrameworks.com, happy hour holidays. And check out Sports and Suits. I'm the producer on that show. And also in Max We Trust. And Hot Topics for Star.
All right.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming in. Say hello to the team. Say hello to Manny, Jeanette, the whole team over there for Febre Frameworks. Always doing a great job on the real estate, videography, photography, everything they do over there. So, hey, another great show. Anthony Rickman, wow, that was some really strong fire content, too, where he's talking about the, some of the changes to the laws. Those are things you got to know and you got to look into. Thanks for joining us on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.